Okay, good morning again. All right. I probably start talking before this thing starts recording. Someday I'll sort that out. I just wanted to give a specific report on the problems with the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra 512 gigabytes and T-Mobile services. Samsung continues to jerk me around on the phone. Ultimately, they wanted me to ship my phone in. Now, what am I going to do without a cell phone? And be without my cell phone and put all that data and stuff at risk while they played with it. Then they would fix it and ship it back. That's what I call piss poor service. It's unacceptable service. So Samsung continues to jerk me around. T-Mobile, on the other hand, finally got American native speakers, which I think is helpful. Don't get me wrong. The Filipino girls are cute as buttons, and I love talking with them. I like the fact I can flirt with them in a light way, and they all just chuckle away, giggle away like women used to do, and they're all flattered, and they're happy, and that's the way it ought to be. I mean, I think it's important to compliment a woman. My mother reared me that way, so you got to compliment a woman, even if you have to make something up or you got to lie. You give every woman you run into a compliment. Of course, towards the end of life, Mom chewed my ass out for 45 minutes telling me what a male chauvinist pig I was, and I listened. And at the end, I just said, Mom, you reared me this way. She was kind of speechless. I have a talent for being able to do that. But, well, I guess it's okay to change your mind, but Mom, you did do that? Anyway, T-Mobile people are going to send me a third phone. This time it goes to one of their stores, and we're going to make the swap out there. So the second phone is worse than the first phone, more buggy, and I don't recommend Samsung at this point. I think the S22 is a failure. It's buggy. I think it was a failure in design and rushed to market. The camera system, yeah, it's wonderful. Okay. The screen display is pretty good. What stops it from being wonderful? Well, this is really simple. What stops it from being wonderful? Oh, I got to plug my phone in and charge it. It might send that alarm off. It says I got 15% remaining. But I'll bet it doesn't go off this time. It tends to go off when it's got more charge rather than less charge. So here I am plugging it in for you. Let's see if it goes off. Go ahead, phone, make a liar out of me. It'll be the first time. All right, 15% and it's charging okay. So the T-Mobile people are going to replace this phone. And I already bought 2 screensavers, so this next one's going to be on T-Mobile. I didn't remember they told me that it was lifetime free screen protectors, not screensavers. Screensavers are the old stuff back when we would burn the screens if they stayed on one display too long. The early days of computing. So I'm going to get a new phone and get it swapped out properly. Hopefully I won't get a lemon. This phone is worse than the first phone. Not only does it make the same mistake of giving a false alarm about water being in the USB-C port, which is my main complaint, it also has problems with populating the message system. It's got a new system that's not compatible. I haven't figured out the settings. Nobody else can tell me how to set the settings so that it'll stick to SMS instead of using this new format that doesn't go most of the time. It also won't allow me to dictate in there quite often in positions in which I really have to dictate. So it's not working very good for me on text messaging, communicating. So that's a major failure too. And then on top of it, it will give me announcements of YouTube videos that I subscribe to and I want to know about. And when I click on those, more than half the time it goes to a completely different video. It typically opens up into a small box video with a bunch of other crap on the screen. I think that's YouTube trying to play with us, getting us to touch the wrong stuff. I wish YouTube would stop screwing around with us, but both YouTube and Google take too many liberties with us. I can't wait to take them over and take them apart. I want to put their boards in prison. I want them spending time in prison for violations of privacy. There is a right to privacy in the Constitution, and Roe versus Wade told me that. Anyway, so I don't like the design on this phone. You took off the digital audio converters, the DACs, off the board, and there's no longer a physical headphone input. I have hearing impairments. I want the best hearing, the best audio I can get. It's also too complicated to connect everything through one USB-C port. And even when I connect up my new headset through the USB-C port, the microphone connection doesn't occur. I don't know what that problem is, but I want a separate, discrete input for my headset. I don't want to have to tie up my Bluetooth channel using the headset when I'm using the Bluetooth for the hearing aids. So Samsung, if you're going to call it a flagship, then put in everything. Don't leave anything out. Now, as far as this stylus goes, if you're going to put a stylus in there, then I don't know why the hell you curved the screen. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, and why'd you put the stylus on the left side? Most people on the planet are right-hand dominant. And you put it on the left side. Dumbasses. And then you let the competitor come out with better battery life. Now, I don't think this phone is very power efficient. I think you lied in the benchmarks, Samsung. I think you told us an untruth. You got benchmarks run before you put on the firmware that throttles everything back so it won't overheat and then can't perform the way it claims it does. Kind of reminds me of Volkswagen doing the diesel test on their engines, or the test bypass on their diesel engines. I don't think Samsung's being very honest with this. Samsung's also developing their own form of Bitcoin, their own crypto. I'm not going to use Samsung for anything else. I don't do my banking with my insurance company. You got to keep things separate. Those boundaries got blurred during the Clinton administration, which screwed things up. We ended up with drug commercials out there on the television, and they never were allowed beforehand. Now you get commercials for all this shit, these poisons they want you to shove into your body, let them give you. Anyway, I'll be getting a new phone, the third try. I think they said they were going to have their engineers, because I asked this. I told Samsung this is what I wanted as well. I want your engineers to I don't want you just taking a new phone off the shelf and shoving it at me. I want your engineers to go over that phone with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that everything's okay with it. Then send it to me. Now, Samsung's not willing to give me that type of service. So Samsung, this is the last Samsung thing I buy. Your washer and dryer you made with silver nanotechnology was wonderful, but you took it off the market after a year because it was too healthy and too good for us. Killed all the bacteria, including staph. So that's one of those oppressed technologies now that we can't have access to anymore. Anyhow, I'm not buying you television sets or anything else from you, Samsung. And I'm not recommending it to anybody. And T-Mobile is marginal right now. I mean, they've got tech service. I don't consider it very good tech service, but it's far better than the other guys. It's far better than Verizon, that bunch of thieves that Verizon offers us. And remember, these big tech people are all doing the spying for the government on us under secret contracts. So I don't like them very much. I get derailed so easily. It's nice to be able to rant and discharge a little bit. Anyway, well, what else can I tell you about? Oh, the other disappointment. It's not a very efficient chip system in the Samsung phones. Not very standardized. At least the iPhones is the same thing across countries. And unfortunately, the CIA gets a hold of these smartphones and gets to put all their spyware on it. So I can't wait till the CIA comes apart and all that spying stops. Whoever came up with the Patriot Act, whoever voted for the Patriot Act, whoever's operating under the Patriot Act, every one of them needs to go to prison. Yeah, those FEMA camps, they created them for us. Maybe we should put them in it. Okay, Samsung, you give us what's called the Ultra, and you give us the same stupid-ass battery you put in the lower models. Now, what kind of privilege is that? What kind of pride can one have in that? Oh, and it's not even as big as your competitor's battery. What excuses do you have? Your engineers aren't doing something right. It should be at least the equivalent, the 6 milliamp hour equivalent, instead of a measly 5 milliamp hours. As you can see, it's easy to chew up the speed and wear the battery out pretty fast. Now, I like the new high-speed charger. The 25 watt does wonderful. Having to buy it separate, yeah, that's kind of a low blow. I'm not recommending Samsung. Y'all are milking it for everything. I'm on the hook for this phone after taxes with the case, screen protector, and the wall wart that I had to purchase separately. I'm on the hook for over $1,500. T-Mobile didn't give me a trade-in on my old Galaxy 5S, S5, whatever it was, 9-year-old phone. Verizon would have given me $400 trade-in, but I didn't want to go back to those liars and thieves again. You got to remember, all of these companies are spying on us for the federal government, and they're collecting that data, and they're able to use it themselves in nefarious ways. I want to see my right for privacy declared and upheld. We need right to privacies. Of course, the federal government's got us to a series of adhesion contracts under a foreign jurisdiction, under maritime admiralty law, under the Uniform Commercial Code, and under statutory law, rather than under common law and under the Constitution. Oh, and by the way, you guys and girls out there who are prosecutors, every one of your convictions across the last, let me just take a quick guess, almost 50 years. Every one of your convictions, pleadings has been statutory, which means under the color of law, which means they're all felonies. All you prosecutors have been committing. Okay. We'll see how T-Mobile does on this. Samsung fails. That's all there is to it. Good day.